And when you're kind of producing content, everybody talks about sort of repurposing that content. But I mean, how would you go about whatever that piece of content might be? How would you go about sort of optimizing it and maximizing the value you typically get from that one piece?
So I think one of the best things to do is really from the podcasting route. So instead of reposting, a link to your content on social, take distill it down to its essence, to a takeaway, repurpose it into multiple key points. Let's say you have a long form article where you've talked about 4 or 5 really important things. Break that down into individual sections and use it to post on LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's perfect, especially for B2B. Post it on LinkedIn and see what people engage with over there over time. And then think about that in the future. Ultimately, you don't want to just take what you have and just always rehash it across these channels. You want to test if it's organic and then see what are people engaging with. I wouldn't worry so much about the views. Views don't matter. They're vanity. You want to look at things like what are people actually commenting on? What are people sharing, right? Like these are heavier lift items and versus just a view in the feed or a like button or something like that. But yeah, see what people are engaging with, and then also think about, can this be repurposed for some sort of demand gen motion? Do you need to educate buyers? If so, put a bit of paid behind it. It's a it, if you think about content and the goal of content, it's consumption so that we can educate. And that way, when that person's in market and ready to buy, we are part of that consideration set, right? So I think what a lot of people forget about too is that you can, like, not all advertising has to be direct response, get leads, get conversions, right? Take your content. If you've got a message that if you could convey to buyers, if you could get them to understand it, right, that they would be more likely to choose you over someone else. And that just takes a bit of education. That's what your content does for the most part. So use that, put a bit of paid behind it, guarantee your distribution into your market, let them consume that content and bring people in that way. And it's a lot cheaper too than direct response. Of course, it doesn't bode all that
And a
well
more
for
na-
attribution, but
and a,
it's still valuable.
but a more natural way of doing it. If people
Yeah.
are engaged by the content they're seeing, they're naturally going to be engaged anyway, or interested in what you're trying to talk to them about. So
Mhm.
that kind of makes sense.